See, you walk in and it's cracking, suddenly gets quiet.
Please stand
All that
for the pledge.
charisma is gone.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We can just observe a moment of silence for our country. Thank you, everyone. Thank you all for coming. Today is Thursday, July 7th. It is 5:30 p.m. at the Town of Bath Municipal Center. Madam Reporter, roll call, please.
Greg Sheen,
Present.
Susan Webster's here, Elizabeth Skinner, Mary Lynn Hickey,
Here.
No.
Rita Dawson, Ryan Kessel, Rick Weber.
Very good. All right. We have an opportunity, everyone, to look over the minutes from our last meeting on the 16th. It's been 3 weeks. I'm sure that Councilman Weber had time to review everything accordingly. Of course. And Susan actually did it on the Saturday. She's working on Saturday. These council people never stop impressing me with their work ethic.
And P.S. Gurley, that was a very nice thing to say at the end of the water.
They say you were a lovely person and
Yeah,
deserve all the
thank
credit
you. I'll
you get
take
for
it.
everything.
So
Appreciation was a, yeah, we did that. Yeah, we appreciate, we
Yeah.
do appreciate that.
Yeah.
We do.
So I'm assuming
You left
that's
that
common
sentence
consent,
out. You know,
everyone?
you loved it.
Yes.
You did.
All right, approved by common consent.
Oh,
You could have a plaque made, Mary Lynn. Go with your new lawn ornaments. All right.
Okay.
Susan, tell me how to handle this situation. I have Sean see on the tree board. I don't have them coming before council.
Okay.
Therefore, should I wait until we get to tree board? Or can I move?
What is he here for?
He is going to join the tree,
Introduce.
introduces the newest member of the tree board.
Well, we,
You
Can I
changed
just
the
we
agenda.
we'll make a motion to amend the agenda to bring forward tree board. I just made that motion.
Okay.
Second.
To have a motion to bring tree board forward, since we have Sean with us today. Sean, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure thing.
Second.
Oh, wait a minute, wait a second.
Second.
I just seconded it.
Thank
Oh,
you.
you did? Just
A motion on the floor with the second to move the tree board forward.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No. Motion passes. Thank you, Susan, for keeping me on point
Sure,
all
well,
these years.
yeah.
So,
Sean,
thanks,
please.
Greg. Appreciate it. My name's Sean Yarp. I'm recently retired from Montgomery County Public Schools, where I managed the indoor air quality program. I was the environmental team leader there. And we have over 200 schools there, so I had to manage a lot of air quality complaints, did a lot of mold investigations, and did a lot of EPA and OSHA compliance. Prior to MCPS, I worked at Georgetown and GW universities. My background's in biology, education, biology and public health. So I'm glad to be here and whatever I can do to contribute to help things out.
Well, thank you, Sean. We will hold you to that and to that standard without a doubt. So,
Yeah, now, yeah, okay, you are the gentleman that applied to be on the tree board.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, all right, well, this is the first time I'm meeting you. Thank you.
Nice to
thank
meet
for
you.
coming. Nice. Now, you know, you've been from the city, you know we're not city.
I know that.
Have you
I know
seen that yet?
Well, I was born and raised in Indiana, PA, so
Okay, so you understand.
Yeah, it's-
All right, well, good.
yeah, he knows what he's up against here,
Okay.
and how wonderful it is,
Good.
and how we love our tree canopy, and there's nothing more important than bringing that forward and continuing to bring that
Yes.
forward. Do we need a motion to, at this point, or
Yes, I make a motion that we bring Sean
you're up?
Yara onto the Town of Bath Tree Board.
Second, I have a motion on the floor with a second to bring Sean Yarp on board as a member of the Town of Bath Tree Board. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Sean.
Congratulations.
Welcome aboard. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is it SEAN?
SEAN.
Do you want to address the tree board?
Yeah, what we'll do is we'll jump to,
Yeah, we can continue with
Yeah,
tree
Beth,
board.
you want to present?
Yeah, that, we brought issue to the finance committee. We have some small trees that are hazardous to the houses and other things around them that need to be removed. The tree board did obtain 3 quotes. Around $1,100 was, the lowest bid was for about $1,100. That was a reliable contractor. So I brought this to the finance committee for their consideration. And they did agree that this was necessary work and the town will identify a resource to pay for it. So do we need a motion for that, or is it taken
We
care of in
approved
finance
the
committee?
bills in finance and paid
Okay.
it.
All right, good.
It's included in
All
that.
right, very good.
Tree
Did
board
I understand
expenses.
correctly, the tree board now has no money with grants or any of that to contribute, or?
That's correct.
Okay.
They- I mean, we might have like $1,000 in the bank or something like that.
That's up and down, but the Atlantic. Okay.
Yeah, we have hotel motel distribution to the tree board, correct? As of
Correct.
July 1,
Yes,
that was what, $3,500?
it's 1,500.
1,500, so there's 1,500 going to the account, okay. So there is a small balance in there, very good. Beth, anything
Which
else?
covers that bill,
Yeah.
by the way. The
That-
hotel
that's it,
motel.
thank you.
Yeah, perfect, okay, well, thank you for that, and then I'll jump, all right, I will jump back up to communications from the mayor. First of all, Mayor Murphy, it's good to see you again, welcome back.
Sure is.
I thought I
I'm
was
not the
having a
mayor
moment.
anymore. I just come in to see what's going on in my community.
I'll reframe that, Mayor Emeritus,
There you go.
Scott Murphy.
You're-
present, and
you're
that
the-
makes 3 mayors here at one time, which is a milestone moment in the history of the town of Bath.
Probably is.
Yeah.
Too bad we can't get a 4th or something, that would be.
Put a picture at the end of the 3 mayors.
They all
I
pass
like
away.
that.
We'll go according to height.
Guess where you'll be.
Bit of
Or hair.
lucky.
I guess I'll have to wear my stunt shoes or something so that I can be tall as Greg is.
Scott, it's always good to see you, my friend. You look so
Relax.
refreshed.
Absolutely.
Oh, my God.
Some life changes?
Oh, I've had a lot of
Like a career
life
shift
changes.
or something?
Yes.
Thank you, Scott. I also want to introduce my nephew. So he's traveling the furthest. He gets a special award coming from Seattle, Washington, to join us here in the town of Bath. And we've been making our rounds through town. We both ate a whole pizza today each at the Trust. So we're off to a really good, fabulous start. He crushed his. I'm feeling mine. That's great. It's great to have. That's Connor Kelly.
Welcome, Connor.
I'm a Kelly clan, Irish, if you could like that.
Connor.
Well, you forgot to mention that we started this morning with gelato.
And we had gelato for
By 10
breakfast.
o'clock.
So I'm not sure what
Connor and I
that's good, but
did.
You had gelato for breakfast? That
My
was a
brother's
first.
not gonna trust me again.
No, it's great to have Connor and the rest of the family will be joining him on Thursday. So we'll have a whole entourage in town
Awesome.
spending money. Some correspondence. I just wanted to go over a few things. We'll start with a message that we received from West Virginia Treasurer Larry Pack. Larry was in just a few weeks ago, and we met for several hours, and I'll share this message. Dear Mayor, your leadership and work within the town of Bath is truly impressive. You have an incredibly important task of balancing growth with providing efficient service in your role, and it's easy to see that you are doing it well. Let me know if I can be of any assistance in your efforts, or if you need to get something moving, or if you just need the state out of your way. Hope we can talk again soon. Warm regards. So that's from Larry Pack. And again, thank you, council, for really setting a gold standard for Class 4 municipalities, and that's really on the radar of the state of West Virginia.
Yep.
For the 4th of July celebration, almost everyone here was at the 4th of July celebration.
Lots of fun.
It was lots of fun. Everything's been recorded by Mark and also by Happy at the Chamber. You can see the full video if you go to the Chamber website. But with that said, I just want to make sure that I'm thanking everyone. And, the town rolled out the red carpet for Governor Morrissey as we celebrated the 250th anniversary of our nation and the town. I'd like to recognize the many people that made the governor's visit so special. Dave Ross, commander of the American Legion, the Tri-State Color Guard, he did a beautiful job. Senator Darren Thorne, Senator Tom Willis, Commissioner Bill Clark, Morgan County Prosecutor Dan James, Alice Lance, Regent of the Daughters of the American Revolution, and of course, members of Town Council. Special thank you to our town of Bath staff, Sandy Venuto and Grace Burton, who were there most of the day and really helped get us set up and started. I really have to thank Larry Landon for his efforts and support.
Yes.
Honestly,
We needed them.
I mean, Larry just did a great job, and it would have been impossible to have the day turn out the way it did without his help. Vince Shamball for serving as a facilitator between the town and the American Legion, so thanks to Vince. Also want to thank our group of 20 community readers of the Declaration. They did a great job. Councilwoman Mary Hickey for working through the afternoon heat to pull off the second annual George Washington Rubber Duck Race. Thank you for that, Mary. Regina Amaka for her amazing performance of the national anthem. If you heard that, it was just, it was
incredible.
something.
Yeah, it was.
It was one of the best I've ever heard. She just did a great job. Jill Roan for her great work with our evening concert presented by the town of Bath. Thank you to Dusty Martin. He spent his afternoon in the run with the duck race.
Yes, he did.
Thank you to Happy Roan, Executive Director of the Morgan County Berkeley Springs Chamber of Commerce, for reporting the ceremony and for her social media live stream and after event posts. Thank you to Rich Sidnor and the Town of Bath Public Works team for keeping the town of Bath beautiful. The governor was really complimentary on the town and the way it looks. Thank you to the Town of Bath Police Department for keeping everyone safe. And finally, thank you to all the folks that purchased Town of Bath 250th anniversary banners. They are all over town. Just on a side note to that, the Town of Bath George Washington, America's first spa town banners have been installed on the light posts in town. We've received some very positive feedback on this first page of our branding and beautification project. So there was just a lot of really good work on display this weekend. So thank you to everyone that participated and showed up.
You want me to touch on?
Yeah, Rick, I was going to pass that to you. The
Yeah.
street light maintenance, I'm just going to turn that over
I
to
talked to
Councilman Weber.
Tim Boyer today. They should be finishing up the side streets, which are the initial 54 lights that we're replacing. And then he's going to be away in August, or I'll be away in August. He'll be away in July. So he's going to meet with us in September at our streetscapes meeting to schedule the next 50. And now that we know exactly what we're doing and how quick that process, the planning part should not take what it did this first time.
Yeah, that still went off without a hitch.
So we're good, yeah. Okay.
So great work. Thank you for that, Rick, and thank you for just keeping that
And
line
there
of
is a
communications.
difference. If you know, there is a difference. I mean, it is brighter, and that's what we were going.
Brighter, safer, yeah, just a great job. And we saved, 30% on our utility bill, so.
More welcoming.
And so far, because we haven't added any new poles or any new street lights, we're just replacing. The cost to us is nothing.
Zero.
Yeah.
A zero net cost, with
Yep.
the savings on the other side of that is a big one for the residents of the town of Bath and the businesses. On track, the next meeting is at 4 PM on the 9th. Mary, is there anything you want to add with On Track?
Just really, I thought, just to piggyback on what you said, Greg, our 4th of July celebration was somewhat curtailed because of the heat. It really was excessive, the heat. But the duck race, we had over 60 participants and we had some crafts. They really liked the water guns better. But I think just given the heat and everything else, that we had a great showing for that day, not just in the afternoon, but the totality, starting with the governor and the Declaration of Independence reading, and
Thank you for
Great
that. Yeah, the On Track continues to do everything they can to meet the metrics required and from the requirements to become a Town of Bath certified Main Street. I mean, that's a big deal to us and opens the door to more grant opportunities. And hopefully, before the end of the year, we should be in line to move to the next level. Parks and Recs, next meeting on the July the 16th at 7 at the courthouse. We don't have anyone here from Parks and Rec. Planning Commission.
Only thing to add, besides it was a great 4th of July, is we'll be meeting tomorrow at 5 o'clock in the conference room.
Rail Trail.
Yeah. We were due to have a conference call with Carl Baranowski, who's doing bridges for the rail trail as well as bridges in town now. But he's not available, so we'll skip that and go on to maybe next week. Big push there is, could we please figure out how to get the company that's been tentatively selected as the design and engineering contractor to actually give us in the state what's needed to award a contract. Bill, Joel, and I getting rather tense. Because the contractor, and I'm struggling to actually push on the rope that makes it work. I believe we'll be successful. We've done this before with design contracts. Town has one of its own, same process, same growth, same DOH. Gotta be successful. Basically, the second thing is the state and county revising the funding again, because the state did not get it right, because they placed the construction solicitation and award and management with the state DOH when Bill and company agreed that the county's gonna do that. So we had to go and unravel that and pull it back out.
Okay.
So that's going on. It's just Bill is beside himself, but I'm kind of with him, trying to figure out how to get the machine started. And we know how to do it. It's just DOH had a lot of retirements, and the knowledge of how to do things left. And it's visible. It's really visible. Turns out the knowledge is down with us, trying to convince them what's their job and how to do it, but they don't have the people. And it's
Just
not
do it
just,
very gently. They'll listen, but do it not in a, don't talk down to them.
oh, no.
Help them learn what you
We
need
don't,
to
we
be
don't do that. This is
moved
the,
along.
Pete is the master of
it's the rising tide.
massaging things.
Yes.
So Pete, what does this do? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but just for clarification purposes. So by untangling this piece.
Yeah.
How does it impact the timeline?
For remediation.
It slows it down.
Yeah, but, okay, like, how slow does it slow it down?
Well, I think the big, I won't say mistake, the big challenge came when it started. Trailhead started off as congressionally directed spending. That has its own path. Somewhere in all of that, it got jumped over into the transportation alternative program from the federal highway people. That's possibly where the money came from. With that comes a massive amount of overhead and other may-I points. And what's happening here is it's awful slow working with a contractor who should know better. Okay, so I'm feeling like I can talk down to them, but I'm not doing that. I'm not pushing on DOH. I'm helping them be successful.
Yeah.
Remind them that the Transcontinental Railroad was built in 6 years.
Nice, Susan.
Yeah. They didn't have anything developed.
Didn't you just say you should not talk down to
Yeah.
them? That's all right.
Well, just remind them of just
Google, please edit.
Well put.
It's just a fun history fact.
That was private industry, and there were massive perks
True.
to the railroad companies to do what they did.
Yes,
Yes.
they were properly incentivized.
Wildly
DOH
incentivized.
is not.
Wildly incentivized.
Yes.
Good work. Good work.
All right, so we will be successful. Don't give up on us.
I'm not giving up.
I'm not, and Bill and I are at this daily. So, and as far as the bridges thing goes, that's running now. We're gonna solicit for the two big bridges for the rail trail, probably in the fall.
So we're gonna have bridges and no trail to them?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
exactly what you're
Hey,
gonna do.
that's
I knew
the
you'd
state.
zero right in on that.
That's-
Susan, you're 2 for 2 in insulting.
I'm all right.
And you
Don't say
should,
another
and you
word.
should want that.
I should want that because.
Because, fill in the blank,
That's
please.
what we've been waiting for.
Bridges are.
Any number of
rest of it
people
we-
can build a trail, and they're still talking about the charge force of the state. The bridges require engineering, and a bunch of concrete abutments.
Yeah.
Very few people can do that in the middle of the woods.
Okay,
So the key is get that done, and that's why it was given to District 5.
okay.
to do. And the guy who's doing it has done the right thing. That's where the what used to be highway restraint bridges that killed the solicitation are now essentially the same kind of Bailey Bridge that goes in when you have a hurricane run through it and rips out the bridges.
Exactly.
It's designed to be traveled in and dropped in place.
Yeah.
So, and it looks like it's within the budget.
Excellent.
And District 5, who's a doer. Charleston isn't the doer, they're the planner and the thinker and the back. And the districts are the doers. So So I think that's good. And we're just missing a meeting because the key guy couldn't get there for tomorrow. I'd rather have him do what he needs to do. But the bridge project is going on. This, next up is streetscape. Are we done on the trail? Sort of. All right, streetscape. Sending update.
Yes, you did.
Yes.
And the big deal here is that Thrasher will actually deliver the usable 30% package for our next streetscape meeting, which is on the 16th.
Right.
Okay.
I've been talking to him about this for some time. I don't need everything. Overall concept and a cost estimate.
And this is Congress Street.
It's Congress, Union, I think. The same thing goes for Independence. They are separate projects, separately funded, but they're running in parallel.
Okay.
So if I can get that, we'll have something interesting to talk about on the 16th.
Okay. Now, just to recap, we received a very nice letter from some folks that live on Beiser Street. The Beiser Street Bridge. Can you, yeah,
Yes, I can.
thank you. Just while we're on that portion.
I got Peter's notes this morning and I sent back, I said, do we hear anything back from Kyle?
Okay.
Here is the response. The week before last, the bridge crew superintendent and I went to Beiser Street. The most economical and quickest project will be to replace the superstructure as it currently stands. Steel beams with a timber deck. The construction supervisor, Tim, was supposed to check our boneyard. We should be able to get the majority of the beams that we need for free from them. This should take less than a month to complete. This also eliminates any in-stream work or EPA involvement. A slab would need a permit for shoring below OHW, and permitting is not a factor.
Okay.
So this is the great idea. What we will wait for now is his maintenance agreement, which will be their guesstimate of what the total cost would be. So we would just be paying their guys the hourly rate. It's a nonprofit thing.
Mhm.
Once they give us their best guess of what that's gonna cost, we as a council then need to get together and figure like, well, we're a small municipality, we can only afford X. And there will be money available through DOH that will do the other part of that. And hopefully, like I said, this could be, by the time we get the agreement and send it back to him, a month from there. So I'm assuming probably by maybe 2 months, we should be done with Pfizer, hopefully.
Oh, good.
So that's my thought based on what.
Let's call it 120 days.
That's what I meant by giving a job to the doers.
Yeah.
Kyle is the same guy that did the bridges for them and for the rail trail.
So,
It's him. He's the bridge guy. And
So for right now,
where are, as far as, responsibilities is concerned, we're waiting to get some documents from
we
them
will get
about
the
this.
document from them, which would be the maintenance agreement, which will have the price and everything, our responsibility, their responsibilities. We as a council approve our end and accept it, but we'll send it back with a request for additional funds from them. And so, I mean, I would say, based on what he just sent us today, we should probably have the maintenance agreement in a week. So let's wait and see, and we can always call him.
Yep.
I would imagine it's pretty standard. It's just changing some,
It is, but nothing is standard in West Virginia.
But just to open that road for those people that live in those apartments,
Understood.
I mean, it's such a
Absolutely.
disaster for them now to have to
And he knows.
enter here or.
They came out and looked at the bridge before we ever met with us.
That was great. Good.
Yeah, no, I mean, that contact was worth his weight in gold thing. And like I said, he's the same guy that's gonna deal with the bridges on the rail.
Ceremony.
Right.
And again, I just think it's the piece here is that we communicate with all those folks on Beiser, that we have to give them a timeline, not a firm date, but just to provide a timeline on and set an expectation. We are working on this and we should have this completed by, the fall or early fall. I just don't want to give a fixed.
No, you can't, not
Yeah,
until
we
we
can't.
until we hear back from Kyle. really.
We're not exactly in control of this. The ball's in their court. Okay?
Done with the bridges.
Peter, would you like this one back or?
No,
Yeah, okay.
it's unfortunately at my age, it's part of my memory.
Okay, you already have a copy.
Hate to say it. Huh?
You already have another copy.
No, I don't, but I can get one.
I know.
All right, on the streetscape,
Yes,
after that, and I really want to pull on that and get something for the 16th.
yes.
What I did get today is the announcement of the fiscal 26 TA, what I call the grant application season. I got a note from Cameron Hunt, Cameron Hunt appears to be the new Mark Schooler, because they gave him this job too, so it's probably similar. He's on his learner's permit.
Oh,
Well, we're being nice. Come on.
you teaching.
Yeah, well, yes.
You're healthy.
So what it does is it opens up what they call an intent to apply, and that opens up Thursday, the 9th, and closes the 21st. And then all of our ITAs get approved for a full application. That starts on the 22nd of July and closes on the 13th of August. So I did a little chatting with Region 9. Wait a minute. They haven't yet announced what the heck happened to last year's grants. So and the governor is the one who announces this stuff. So I would basically say somewhere between now and the next week or two, there really needs to be an announcement, or none of us know what to apply for. I wouldn't do anything with that, just wait.
The governor usually announces between now and October.
Well, I understand that, but that doesn't help us.
I know it doesn't.
So basically, I'm armed, I've been talking with Susanna over at the region, something I'm trying to figure out how to work this out, and I'll probably talk to Cameron.
Kind of goes along with the federal budget. You know,
Well,
yeah,
usually, well, there's a lot of,
There is some relationship.
well, that and election time
You got
is
that right.
usually, so, but it's his prerogative to make the announcement. So we'll just have to grit our teeth and things like that. We got 2 out there awaiting approval, and who knows?
But we're always submitting, correct?
Well, if you fail and don't get an award, you tend to submit the next year. So we have other things maybe.
We should have something
But
else
that-
to submit for.
Well, then you run into another challenge. Right?
Yeah.
You have Independence Street sitting out there with 2 senators.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
You don't know what's gonna happen there.
No, you don't.
And you have an open window for a TA grant award in the next month.
Yeah.
Flip your phone. I can't tell you the answer.
That's so odd. This is unusual, right?
Not really. The TA grant season tends to start in June in some cases.
Yeah, but I mean, you need to be prepared to submit a good
They
application.
don't think so. They apparently, at state level, don't think you
No,
need
who
to
knows?
prepare.
Coordinated? I don't know. But
Mhm.
what's your chances of getting the congressional spending from either one of the senators? And how do you track that? I'm not doing that, but
Yeah.
see what I mean? It may be in the next, and I wouldn't, there's nothing immediate needed right now, but the point is, in the next month or so, getting some skinny on what's going on with the 2 senators and the request for Independence Street. Because, and at the same time, if you don't want to show up with a TA grant application for the same thing you've asked 2 senators for, that's not good practice.
But you don't want to box yourself in and lose the opportunity to ask your 2 senators if you know you're not going to get the other money, but you don't know that.
Except that we put the senators first. They have the application, they've accepted it. I don't know what their schedule is. Maybe I can get with Susanna. She was the one that helped us.
Yeah,
with that.
Susanna is what,
Let me find out
she submitted for the Independence Street
Yeah.
revitalization, yes.
what
She
the
did.
touch point would be to figure out how's that.
Yeah, ask her, or she wants me to contact the senator, either way.
Yeah,
Just so we're
let's-
both not doing it, but just,
That's exactly right. So I'll talk to her.
I'm happy to reach out
I
to
mean,
the,
the totals of what's on the table here is the total program for phase 6 construction, which is up for grabs, is about $500,000. 20% of it, it's total 5. But their 20% shares in it somewhere.
Yep.
The total for the other one was about $125,000 for streetlights.
Mhm.
And the total for Independence was something around
Six, about 650 and
650 or something like that.
and then 10% match. For
Yeah.
So that's a lot of money.
So there's a lot of money in play right now, and
Sure.
there's a lot of match money you'd have to come up with, but the truth is, that's a
We're
good
settled
position.
that. The
That's a
match
good
piece we
position.
have, the match piece we have, the match for Independence Street is a very affordable,
Yeah.
$65,000.
Yeah, so this all came about this afternoon.
Yeah.
When we found out, when they opened up the thing, and I realized all the possibilities and combinations of this stuff here, and if you make the wrong move, oops, you
Yeah, no,
lose.
we don't want to do that.
No, that's what I'm afraid of.
Mhm.
It's a good word.
So Pete, you'll reach, just so I understand.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to Suzanne.
Susanna, and
See
just
what-
let me know what you want me to do.
Yeah, see, yeah, I got the right answer. The
Okay.
answer is right now, just quiet for a while.
Okay.
You heard that? You heard that? You heard that? I told everything. I don't expose any of this.
There is no such thing as off the record.
I didn't say that. The things that are clear are the open and closing of this. Such things.
Yes. Yes.
So
The
that's
most important story you
so
can
that-
write is the three mayors being here.
So that, and that I think is,
Should
that's
be a picture.
published.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
We'll get
I think the story of the three mayors all present at one time is the lead here.
That's
We should have a picture.
That's
Should
why
be about the poll.
that in.
Uh-huh.
You just leave it lie.
Thank you, Pete. I know you're chasing down a lot of rabbit holes right now, so thank you for that. You keep getting turned in every direction, so hang in there.
I'll have to show you my plate spinning graph.
Yeah. And so
Pete's always best to leave Pete alone, so.
it is.
That's what he says.
That's the way I am.
Only Rick can work with you.
All
All right, Susan,
Yeah.
Tree Depot, where are we?
Okay, the tree that is closest to the depot, that was cut. We've been talking about cutting that so that one of the historic antique lamp posts that have been donated to us by Marge Bowers is going to go right there. So I just, a couple of weeks ago, happened to call Mike Merchant's tree. He told me a wonderful price, $300. And he said, I'm in Great Capen and I can be there in 15 minutes. So we did it. It's done, it's over, and the electrician will be putting up the lamp post now. He has no obstructions. Yeah, it was a tree thing, but I just did it. It was a tree thing that needed done.
No good trimming.
It was a trim, so it'll go nicely there. And there are no branches now hitting the depot roof, which anybody here, if you don't want tree branches scraping on any roof, particularly one that cost us about $800,000, right?
Yep.
Murphy? Yep, that was a pricey one. So that is done. I talked a little bit in finance again. We've been talking the past few weeks about the promotion and of parking in the depot lot and, the necessity for only day parking for RVs, tour buses, or just people in general, and some who may have larger vehicles, which are hard to park in town. Them being able to park there, we've agreed that it's fine to do, and when we have projects there that, there needs to be no parking, then there's no parking. But what I think we need to do, because people are parking in there anyway, what we need to do is promote the parking with a sign clear at the northernmost end of the town property there. It says free parking, next left, or something like that. Show people, have a pattern of how they're supposed to park with some signage or something in there so that RVs can park so they can get out, and just some promotion of it. In fact, we see big vehicles going through town every day, RVs that could stop, but they really don't think they have a place to stop. But they do anyway, but they don't, and they're stopping in the depot lot. So we talked some about that. Really, I think that's all. I think TBS is going to be doing some decorating and some real enhancements to the interior. This Friday, the HVAC is going to be put in, so the baggage room will be warmer, and there's never been a cooling problem, but it will be warmer in the winter. It's just difficult room. So that's going in, with the blessings of Jim Bailey, our historian, and like this. So that's what's going on at the depot right
Susan,
now.
did we ever get that door fixed?
No,
Remember
and
Vince
you know,
was
we
gonna
were
look-
depending on Vince for
Yeah,
that, but he's been kind of, I haven't seen him lately, so
Either.
I think it's still a little bit of a problem, so, I don't know if we have somebody else that we can put on that would understand the door, I don't know.
Yeah.
We had somebody.
Yeah.
Well,
We'll think
we
though.
can refer someone. I could do. Larry, you got something?
A question, Susan, on the parking, is there any liability that we absorb if we direct people there differently than if they just choose to go there?
If someone broke into one of the vehicles or something,
Or
you
they
know,
bump
'cause that-
into each other, they're like, hey, we were in the
No,
town.
No more than would be any other, they parked anyplace else on the street or anywhere else in town. We're covered for liability for whatever happens on town parking lots, sidewalks, somebody trips on a crack, all those things.
Okay.
The town is open for, but we are insured for it.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you.
just have to keep in mind, whatever decisions we make in relation to parking, they're short-lived. And these are something we're doing until we can start getting out there and doing what we need to do to build that out to get us. I mean, we got, as far as the bathrooms are concerned, the stage, there's a lot of really important pieces that we don't want to miss. So
Yeah.
offer the parking while we can, but the most important work still to be done
Right.
as far as
That will-
generationally thinking.
Yeah,
And we just heard from Pete on how that's going, so anyway, but it's, we'll do the best we can with it and offer what we can do. Hopefully we can get some of the season and people will do, stop and
Get through
see
the
us.
season. Very, thank you, Susan. Priscilla, what do you have for
There
us?
she is.
Well, Historic Landmarks Commission had a really great meeting in June. It was extremely well attended. Mayor Sheen attended, Councilwoman Dawson attended, and every seat was filled. It was people who were really interested in the Black Church project, and thanks to the messenger and other people for spreading the word and really letting people know about our meeting. They showed up and we had a really productive discussion and got a feel for who's interested in helping with what facet of this potential project that we have not yet taken ownership of. We voted to do an environmental study of the property as long as it's free, because we don't have the budget for anything more than $0. So that's where we're going with that. One thing I think would be important to put the feelers out for is finding someone who would come alongside us as a volunteer project manager, not really to do the work, but to advise us on scheduling and all the things that we need to think about, because we're not professional builders. So that's one thing I'd like to kind of put out there. We have a lot of enthusiasm. The bell was acquired by Donnie Mason privately, and we have a fun plan for fundraising for it, to really get it from him or to pay him back for it by ringing the bell at Apple Butter. He has it on his trailer. He's keeping it enclosed in a garage until we can take ownership of it. And we also know where a pew is, so we can even join an original pew on the trailer as well, as long as we can fundraise a little bit for that. And that's just a really exciting, I think, visual for our town as we're slow walking this project a little bit.
I think it's the right scale project. I mean, it's not, the square footage of that building is relatively small. I guess for me, it always boils down to when it's historical. Recommended or required. I mean, that, although it doesn't seem like you really get from the historical in order, if we're going after historical grants, we're going after those things. Again, are they recommendations or are they requirements? Combination of both. How do we know? Because if they become requirements, then the cost is driven significantly higher. So just from the cost of your roof alone at $800,000 for that, that's a massive job. So, Priscilla, when do we get to that point? When do we call in some person that can tell us, give us a clearer idea of what we're looking at financially? What would our financial responsibility be on that particular
like on an
project?
ongoing basis.
You know who might be helpful with this would be Jim Bailey that I just brought up. He's a retired exhibit professional curator for the National Park Service. he has done, and he'll advise you to pick a route, restoration, rebuild, restore, rehab, you know, and so rehab is bringing it back like the depot. It's not exactly the way it was, but it's built to accommodate other.
But you still
present-day
qualify
things.
for preservation grants
Yes.
on that. So that's
Yes.
that's
That
the
gives you the most
lane.
leeway.
Mhm,
Yeah, I think that's something, you know, we don't want to turn this into $1 million project
exactly.
for a building of that's of that size. So we just want to be very careful, and we want to just get ahead. Let's just get ahead of it. I mean, I think it's a great project for the town. It's a manageable project at its size. But my question is, from a grant perspective, what are we
Yeah.
talking about?
And what's our financial footprint is gonna look like in terms of fixed costs moving forward,
Yeah, and then,
once the property's acquired?
right, maybe-
Because that will be a town of Bath liability, and we presumably will be the owners of the property. Or I don't think our commissions are,
The
are-
HLC can own it and is planning on it.
yeah.
the HLC can own it?
Mhm.
Okay, okay, but then you're gonna need money to, yeah,
Right, you'll have carrying costs for the finished project.
Exactly.
There's expenses and some other things to look at. So ultimately, who has the ultimate liability at the end of the day?
It's us.
It's us. But again, let's continue to move forward,
Yes.
Priscilla, because I think it's a worthwhile project. It's, as I said, it's the right size for us where we are, and we can do more than one thing at a time. But
you bet.
I just want to get a clear understanding of
How about-
which lane are we really in with this
How
thing?
about I call Jim Bailey and
Thank you.
just see,
Yeah.
would he have an interest in going there with you or something and kind of looking it over, and he may not totally get involved because he still does consulting work, still travels, partially retired, you know how that goes, Pete. You know, not really ever, but he may be a good person, probably the best in the community, put you in a right direction anyway.
That'd be fantastic.
It couldn't hurt,
Yeah.
it can't hurt. So I'll call him and see if you two can get together.
Thank you. I'd also like to thank the property owners on either side of the building because they're very cooperative and looking forward to this project. And also emphasize that there's really no land that the church is sitting on. It's really just the footprint of the church plus a few feet
And it
around
needs-
the walls.
So the people on either side own the land, right?
They do, the right of ways, yeah.
So we would have to get an easement of some sort to be able to access it from Beatrice. I'm assuming for Beatrice, would she be the one?
They're on both sides because the front door is on the other and,
Is
yeah.
that- And that's Ludwig, I think, owns that property.
It's really his driveway going up that we probably need to use.
Yeah, yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
Okay.
All
But
right,
they seem amenable to,
more to come.
Everyone's very
Okay.
happy, yeah, it's great, so.
Well, they
It's a good
probably want
situation.
that thing that looks like a shed and fallen over to be improved, that will improve their properties. So maybe they're looking at it that way, plus the history.
Whatever gets them to the finish line of we like it, I'm good with it.
We're not
Yes.
an enemy of it.
Thank you so much.
Okay, very good. Great, thank you. Madam Clerk, do you have anything?
No, not so, thank
No good? Okay. Madam Reporter, please.
Yes, let's see what we got here. Property improvement acknowledgement.
see if he,
Did,
bye, Peter.
do have a property improvement acknowledgement for 137 Hagman Street. And what she is doing is, speaking of the church and neighbors of the church, this property 137 Hagman is a neighbor of the church. And they're looking to put on or repair or replace the front porch or deck that we see out there, which in Finance Committee, we talked to this and of course saw every reason to go along with it. They're improving the property and we're on their side with that. Property use request, we had 2 of those. Well, first, what I want to talk to you about is a suggestion I made that Finance Committee does understand and went along with, that we add to our form for event or use of property application a line reminding vendors that they're not allowed to place items or obstruct the sidewalks in any way. We have had in this past season and last year also, people who, when we give a meter space, it's the parking space. It's not the parking space and the sidewalk and the median beyond and into the state park. It's the parking space. And people have, you know, a right to be able to walk down the sidewalk and not have to walk around vendors or walk through somebody's shop or something like that. So we did add to the use of property application. No vendors are allowed to place items on the sidewalk per ordinance code 66-25B. This is a law that's been on our books. We're just emphasizing it so people can, you know, if there's room, I don't believe we mind, but if there's not room, you know, some of our sidewalks are bigger. Some there in front of the state park are not very big, you know, so it's hard to do. So we have added that to our form. Did you have a question for me?
Yes, that's just reminding me of an incident last year, but I'm glad this has come up because I was in the park and one of the ice cream vendors, I think it was across the sidewalk.
Bingo.
And there's a
And
few of them doing it.
Right, and people shouldn't have to walk into, you know.
It's an accessibility thing.
Yes, and they're obstructing the sidewalk
Yeah.
and the flow of
But,
people traffic.
I think you might want to add something like, unless the street's closed, you do not get street as well, because a vendor last year parked double wide in the street that wasn't closed, and that's caused some issues.
I remember.
Yeah,
In the street also, we'll look at that. I'll look at that and maybe we'll.
That might be
add it up,
something to
because I'm
add.
sure that it's public property and you're asking for and we grant you in a parking space, that's it. It's
Yeah.
just the space that you can
No
park a car,
encroachment.
not everywhere around it. So thank you for bringing that up. We'll look into that too. That's great. Thank you. So we did that, but we do have a couple events coming up. And one is the Morgan County Expo is on August the 15th. They have asked for 7 spaces along Fairfax Street. So we'll make sure that we talk to them about what that
yes.
means. I
It was a
think they may have
particular
been-
vendor last year.
They may
that-
have been the ones, yeah, I
Yeah.
think I do remember. So we'll make sure that they understand the space that we have. But it's August the 15th from 7 a.m. till 4 p.m. And what they want are 7 spaces along Fairfax Street on the side next to the park. So you can be sure we'll get in touch with them, Chief, about this. Have your staff handle that.
Yes,
Okay. But we did pass this in the finance committee, so this is a great event, very good event. The other one that we had was a building project. It was a fabulous, what did you do?
Yes, and then
Good, Rick is so good. The installation of awnings on the Fairfax Coffee Shop. These folks have been involved with the Fabulous Facade Program. And so we passed this pending their getting in their drawings and their design for their awning. They haven't done that yet, and that's part of the process with Fabulous Facades. So pending that,
Right, construction right there,
With it.
right, you're free to do. If they're going to take advantage of the Fabulous Facade Program, they're required to present a rendering of the finished project. If they want to move forward without applying for the Fabulous Facades, they can do so.
Mhm.
But yeah, they just need to understand that they need to submit a rendering of the finished project if they are going to apply or to complete the application. 'Cause they
Is that
did
your
require-
understanding that they are doing the
Several months ago, they did submit
They filed
paperwork for that, which is fine, you can do that, but
Mhm.
part of the requirements are you have to submit your renderings prior to beginning the construction phase. Again, we'll reach out just to confirm that do you still want to use the Fabulous Facades or are you going to do
read
this
the
otherwise?
instructions on the application, please. Okay. It's, yeah. So that's sometimes the hardest thing, isn't it? That's the hardest thing to do. So, all right, ready to go on with finance?
Yes, finance,
Okay.
please proceed.
All right, we do have some bills, not a horrible amount. I make a motion that we pay the town of Bath expenses in the amount of $24,176
Second. Here you go.
There you go.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor with a second to pay the town of Bath bills in the amount of $24,176.97. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I make a motion that we pay the Berkeley Springs Water Works expenses in the amount of $38,714.59.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor with a second to pay the Berkeley Springs Waterworks bills in the amount of $38,714.59. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Make a motion that we pay the on-track expenses in the amount of $235.99.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor with a second to pay the on-track bills in the amount of $235.99. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I make a motion that we pay the train depot expenses in the amount of $939.39.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor with a second to pay the train depot bills in the amount of $939.39. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
I make a motion that we pay the tree board expenses in the amount of $2,001.58.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor with a second to pay the tree board bills in the amount of $2,001.58. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I make a motion that we pay the hotel motel expenses, which are the disbursements, $26,769.37.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor with a second to pay the hotel motel disbursements in the amount of $26,769.37. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
I make a motion that we pay the cemetery expenses in the amount of $5,515.
Second.
A motion on the floor with a second to pay the cemetery bills in the amount of $5,515. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I go back to on-track expenses, I think we had number transposed.
Which one?
On the sheet it says 253, but then yours is 235.
Okay, what should it be?
What's the- Sharon, you got that one?
It should be 253.99.
Yes.
All right, well, let's go back to Andre. Is he correct?
I don't have the billing from.
Yes.
Okay,
We had the
Okay.
piles of
All
those.
right. All right, well, let's go back to on-track expenses, and I make a motion that we correct the amount to be paid to $253.99.
Second.
Motion on the floor with a second to correct the on-track bills to indicate $253.99. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Ryan, for finding that.
Yes, Ryan, jeez.
Good catch.
Good
All right,
catch.
we discussed tree board. Okay, grants. Where are we, folks?
Grants. A lot of exciting things happening. You just received a $5,000 award for the Bath Christmas Market.
We did. That was actually paid to the Bath Civic Trust, which is supporting all the town activities. We received $5,000 a couple weeks ago from the Tom and Virginia Seeley Foundation. And just today, I submitted a grant for $100,000 to the Rural Health Transformation Program, which is a West Virginia state program looking for design, implement, and expand worksite clinic models under the Health to Prosperity Initiative for this program. And the project we submitted was a wellness center modeled in a similar way to the little shops. And that concept has been so wildly successful in giving startup and entrepreneurs a small space a fixed and manageable set of costs that allows them to focus on building and growing a business. So we are trying to apply that same concept to wellness providers in similar space situations where they don't need that much, but it gives them an opportunity to launch their businesses. We're talking massage therapists, reflexology, I mean, all the wellness things that you can find in this town. But to have essentially a dedicated campus, location confidential at this point while we work through those details, but a dedicated campus where individual practitioners have a place to be if they are not part of a larger standing business. And just give them a chance to launch and grow and be successful with what they're doing. So
That's the West Virginia,
it's called the Rural Health Transformation Program grant. And interesting, the grant only opened on June 26th and the deadline was today. So we did submit.
that sounds good.
All your other applications and awards are all being tracked and administered properly.
Of course.
Of course, of course.
Yes, and I'm going to talk more specifically about water grant money when we get to the water report
Okay, and our next meeting is July 13th.
next Monday.
4:30. Great. Thank you, ladies. Chief, Public Safety, what do we have?
Well, we've been kind of busy, I guess. We got a few new employees. Rob, for those of you who do not know, Rob submitted his resignation for the 15th of the month. He's having some health issues and decided to give it up. And I hope I don't butcher his name too bad. Gary K.E.
Correa.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Close, Chief.
Has been training to take his place, and he will do so. He's, if you look at him at a distance, you probably get him confused. They look like twins. So, and also we have Grace Burton, who has been employed as my new administrative assistant. And Sandy will be moving on with bigger and better things with the town projects and working directly more with the mayor, I believe. With me talking to the mayor and the previous mayor who has decided to duck out on us, they carry no identifications. They carry no ID to say that they're a mayor or a police commissioner of the town. And I kind of like to start a trend to change that. I have an identification I'm going to present to the mayor today. It's property of the town. It's property of the police department. When he leaves office, it'll go to the next mayor. So, I don't know.
We did that. When I was mayor, I probably had my old ID card.
Is it?
Bad.
Like it's
Claire, you
Christmas
got it.
morning.
Well, Claire, let me get up here with the chief.
Yeah, let's get away from the air
Well, I had a
conditioner.
little-
It was my source subject was
I
a
got it
chair
back.
today.
Oh, no.
That's very good.
Yeah.
That's a badge with
All right, chief.
Yes.
Oh, I can see this thing.
You're gonna have to work on your flashing skills.
I don't usually suck up to people, but he said this would work.
What is-
Air conditioner out.
And what is that again that you're presenting to him is
The
mayor
badge says
back.
police commissioner, which he is under state code. He's the mayor.
And in our charter.
He is where I derive my authority from as a policeman. My rest authority comes from the mayor. And it also says mayor, town of Bath, West Virginia at the bottom.
Yeah, nice. Put that hand
Very
back up.
nice, Chief.
Put that hand back up. Yes. Oh, look how happy he is.
What's it made of?
It's
Solid
Gold.
Chocolate.
Only brash. It's not like England.
Gold.
England, they
Just
have
a-
gold.
it's
They
just-
wear what it is?
It's just plated.
Plated.
It looks fancy,
See,
Greg.
yes, it
Oh,
looks-
that's so close.
Thank you, Chief.
Oh, he'll be looking for it 100 times because it's lefty.
It'll be on the website tomorrow.
That's gonna be fun.
Chief, do you want to talk a
It
little
will be.
bit about your idea about Mercer and Fairfax Street, the accident?
Yeah, we've had several accidents of mainly eastbound traffic on Fairfax crossing Mercer. And it has a lot to do with the memorial gardening in the middle of the road.
You know, we have all the monuments, plus we have all the garden clubs, flowers there. And if you're stopped at Mercer, I'll just do this because my wife was behind the person who had the accident. The person stopped at Mercer at Fairfax, looked both ways, could not see a car coming up Fairfax. And so they pulled across, the other car couldn't see them coming across, and they T-boned and almost ran into the telephone pole on the left side of Mercer.
I worked one not a month ago, the same thing.
Same kind of an accident. So I talked with Officer Stengel, and we thought maybe a four-way stop would work, but I don't think it's necessary. The chief has a different idea that might do
Well,
the same thing.
it's Fairfax is state road, so they're gonna have to be involved with it. And
Right.
then, they'll do a traffic study and do it right. And, probably not a short thing, but we'll get her started. I'll talk to them tomorrow. And, they work fairly well with me when I present it the right way, so.
Okay.
See what we can do about it.
Thank you, chief.
And I think that's pretty much.
Well, and thank you, Chief, for, working along with the state police and the county police for the visit by the governor on Saturday. That went off without a hitch, so.
Yeah, Sergeant Smith, detachment commander out there, of course, he always gets called when the governor's coming in town, but, I put Stangle with him and they worked real well together, and it sounds to me like everything was beyond my expectations of what happened.
Yeah, it was great.
Big deal.
It's good. It's very good. Yeah, so thank you for that. It's very good. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Beth, cemetery?
I don't have anything to report.
Okay. Just, next meeting is the 16th at 1:30 p.m.
That's
for
correct.
cemetery. And public safety, also the 16th at 3 p.m., just for anyone that would like to attend. Rick, Public Works, please.
Some of this we've already done. We've already discussed the Beiser Street Bridge. The Potomac has some light replacements. We'll meet once again in September and get that second phase done, hopefully by next spring. That's my goal anyway. Since we are into July in the new fiscal year, I called and talked to the one paving company. We're going to chip and seal the parking areas around that cemetery. So it's going to be on Warren Street and then Green Street. And they're going to use that chip and seal because it's not like a road that's going to have all the traffic and it's a whole lot cheaper. So they're probably going to be doing that tomorrow. I called and left a message with Damien and Betsy, let them know that that was going to be happening, just to be prepared. It probably will be tomorrow. And they're not open, and they're not open even when that happens. So
Yeah, they might have deliveries too.
I think I'm going to have Rich go ahead and just put no parking at all for tomorrow.
Yeah, he's gonna have to, because there are cars that park there in the evening. I mean, they're not necessarily their cars, but I have seen vehicles on the lower part, not right across from,
Lot 12, lot
The
12.
lower part,
On
the
the
Gloria Park.
Green Street side.
Yeah, yeah.
Gloria Parks are.
Okay, I will call Rich tonight, make sure that they, no parking at all tomorrow until they're done. And then once that, I wanted to get that chip sealing done on that parking area first before we pave Warren Street from Mercer to Green. So they can work on the drainage issues with all that, and it'll all kind of dovetail together. Okay.
and on that, on the,
Go ahead.
the drain that is not functioning there. So you talked to the guy.
It's already filled.
Perfect, thank you. So there's one drain there, but it doesn't go anywhere, so we have to cover that. to
So
make
we
sure.
filled that with Sacrete today so that when they come and do their chip and seal, it'll have something, instead of just putting rock in, it's gonna eventually sink and have.
Got it.
So,
Excellent.
okay, we're in kind of a transition here with staff. As you all know, Sam took a job working as like the maintenance supervisor for the Catawba Apartments up there. I talked to him last night, just called and touched base. He's okay. David decided he was going to retire effective July 15th. And we had a big meeting with Public Works 2 weeks ago, and what we decided is that so we can get and maintain quality help with the work crew, is we're not going to fill David's position. And we are going to hire a replacement for Sam, which will be a CDL driver and also a part of the work crew. We'll still have Carlos, we'll still have Dakota, and we're gonna take that saved salary and kind of give our other guys raises so they're more on par with the water department, so that we can keep some of the people that we have. So that's where that be for right now. We're having an issue with people exceeding the number of bags they're leaving out for garbage. And also too, with all of the new restaurants, new stores, et cetera, the amount of garbage that we're picking up is increasing a lot every week that we go through this. But what we're gonna do for now with this, if they have out more than 6 bags, we are not picking them up. And they'll leave them a note that we can come back if they call the town and set it up at $10 a bag, which will probably eliminate it. And if some people find a way to like, kind of going through a different way. Oh, this is really 3 houses worth. Well, how do we know? We don't know. So they're gonna start enforcing that and see where we go with that.
You'll have to watch the
Rick-
weight of the bags, Rick.
The weight, yeah, the weight too.
Rick, they'll will pick up 3, like for the example of someone who left out 6 bags, they'll pick up 3.
6 is.
Or they just pick up any?
No, they'll pick up the allotted number that they can.
There you go.
The
Okay.
extras, they will not.
Okay.
They're putting out 8 or 9.
I'm aware of the
And-
situation.
Yeah, honestly, what we're saying is we're saying our trash by weight is increasing, what, 20 to 25% over where it was. For whatever, we can kind of nail that down for a couple of specific reasons, but just in general, people have more trash when you're going from, 6 bags to 9 or 10 bags. It's a lot of trash. It's a really big burden on our equipment and everything else at this point, so. And it's something we have to address because honestly, we were not anticipating this amount of trash, and this is before you put Terry's back on
There you
and
go.
another restaurant, then.
And we're getting picked up 3
Multiple-
times,
Is
3
that over
times a
last
week.
year? Over 1 year?
Yes, yeah, oh yeah, this is
Yeah.
1 year.
Over 1 year.
There's
20 to
tremendous amount of trash out
25%.
there. Yeah.
Is a lot of the material stuff that should be diverted to recycling. Tons of cardboard boxes, for example. Bottles are really heavy. Is that a better way to handle this or another way to handle this volume increase?
We don't have a way to really do it
No, don't
ourselves,
say
but
no until you say,
encourage it.
is a lot of this material recyclable material?
Understand. We can encourage recycling
Right,
and
but
we
you can't
do.
force it.
Yeah.
And hard to know.
Oh,
which
wait a
are-
minute, let me go back and rephrase my question exactly the same way. Do you know that this material, this volume increase you're talking about is recyclable material? Do you
No,
know?
we do not have,
We
we
have
don't
no
check
way to know.
trash.
We don't
Cardboard,
know.
you can see if it's cardboard.
Yeah.
No, we don't check it.
That would be a really good thing to find out though, because a lot of municipalities do have, that's how they divert their refuse from going straight to the landfill.
That is a great idea,
Okay.
but our municipality doesn't have like
I know
where
you
we
don't
came
know.
from, where you have a separate bin for your recycling and the municipality will pick it up. You have to go down to the
No, I
facility
know,
on
I live here.
522.
I do know how it is. I'm
Oh,
asking about
totally.
the future
But-
and planning.
But I do appreciate your point from the standpoint of, like, I just did a big dump yesterday of tons of cardboard and
Mhm.
bottles and things.
Mhm.
And it really does diminish. I did generally only pick up my trash every other week because I recycle. So, but we can't mandate it. That's the problem.
Well, if people don't wanna pay the extra charge, they can start recycling.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
it might incentivize them with these
We're not
monetary.
gonna- We can't mandate.
Exactly.
But if they, that's a whole cultural shift and everything else. for
Exactly.
individuals to do. Yeah, Mark.
You're gonna be sending out a notice, it might be worth putting the notice reminding people that we have a recycling center and that a lot of that can be diverted. There's somebody in town
do
doing
that,
a
sure.
compost.
Right.
Yeah.
And I
then
will,
We
that's,
have, at the Ice House, we do the Friday concerts and everybody likes to throw their pizza boxes out. And I had a stack up to here that I took the recycling, folded down, it was this much.
yeah. No, and honestly, I think commensurate with the trend you're seeing with our trash, when I finally I was first in line for recycling on Monday because they had been closed because of the heat last week. It was the line was out 522 of
A good
people.
sign that people are.
Yes,
doing
that more people are doing this, which I thought was really encouraging to see.
it. And then we can educate people, right, which is part of the.
And encourage them.
Yeah, that's kind of the step one of just,
Mhm.
right, and we want people to do that.
recommend that people do that. However, we can't mandate that people do that. But again, that's a very good point, Lisa. Obviously, that's one way to trim off 20% of what's going out the door. But yeah, I'm going to draft that anyway. Then we have to just take a look at the ordinance, because our ordinance shows a max of 6 bags.
Yeah.
So we need to take the ordinance from 6 to 8 as the max, and then make sure that
Yeah.
people are at least paying what they should be paying at this point. The other thing we do not want, we don't want trash piling up in our town. We don't want that. I mean, that's a whole nother, we work too hard to keep our town clean, and we don't want to be leaving bags of trash behind for 2 or 3 days to have raccoons and everything else get in those bags. And you got a whole nother set of problems that can lead to rats and other things. So we really have to think about how we manage this, and a combination of all things. Education, if people are getting charged for it, they're going to think twice. Because that would be a more compelling reason to recycle. Look, just you recycle, you go once a week to recycle, the rest you put your trash out, you keep your limited 6 bags. So great, valid point, Lisa. That's a valid point.
And thank you for lifting that up, because I think we could do some dedicated social media posts and other things to just remind everyone that this is an opportunity and an option.
Yeah, we can do that.
Let me go back and revisit Visor Street while you're drafting that other letter. Why don't we draft one to send with Gloria? Just a statement that we are well aware of the Visor Street Bridge and we're working on it. We're hoping to have it completed by that she can just deliver a hand. And
We actually have one person that's kind of pointing that up for Visor Street, for the whole street. So we just need to contact that one person.
Yep.
And they'll distribute to all the folks.
Okay.
Yep. So when we have their name and their contact information. So
Okay,
that's
so once you do that, we'll do that. Okay, good. Then they'll know that
Yeah, if I can-
they're not forgotten.
I'll respond to that and
Okay.
say, look, we understand, we're working on it. Bridge replacement is something you don't do overnight, but we have a plan.
One of the things that we've done in the past is, going back to the trash, in the springtime, we have 1 day set aside, or 2 days, maybe Rick will remember. And then again in the fall, that people can put leaves, branches.
They stopped doing that the last term. They just pick it up routinely now. So there haven't been the last term, the last 2 years, that has not been done. Usually we did it one in the spring and one in the fall, so that it could be leaves, twigs, spring
Yard waste.
cleanup, but that has not
Yard waste,
happened.
but that's all
in the past-
going on the trash truck. It's
That
not
has
being-
not happened the past 3
Well, it
years.
still goes on.
It still goes on the
truck,
trash
It just
truck.
goes on with a different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that would help control.
Right.
Again,
trash problems.
that's an inexpensive option too. These two bring in a dumpster for a couple of days, and you're getting rid of, people are going to bring large items in. They're going to bring in the old air conditioner and old bicycles and metal, and we want all that stuff going in there anyway, because we don't want that stuff going into the trash
Right,
truck.
that stuff does
Metal
not
and
go.
stuff, they're
Right.
slipping metal
That
and
does
different
not
things
go.
into trash bags now. The guys can't be digging. It's too dangerous and sharp items. And
You have ID problems too. People, they're old prescription bottles and, you don't ever
Yeah.
open.
Yeah, there's never a perfect solution, but I certainly think when we're doing our spring cleanup, make it shine, that should be something that's made available when that's more top of mind at that time, to try to get rid of some of this bigger. Because you got people.
And let's remember-
They're gonna throw in
Pick it up.
throw in a lazy boy if they have to.
Exactly. You can go to Martinsburg, to the Green Grapevine Road one, and get rid of all that kind of stuff. And they do special collections through the year. So it's not just here, but in our immediate area, there are options for you.
And we don't want people turning to the side of the road, and that's been a choice. There's a lot of trash on some of these winding roads that people just throw it right out the window. I mean, that's not an option either. So, I mean, a difficult challenge. And if you've got Apple Valley, the dead hard stop.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. You've got 8 bags. We're picking up max of 6. The rest is staying there until next week.
That has been their policy
Yeah.
since forever, and
Yeah,
people
that's a
complain
hard
about
stop,
it on
yeah.
social media, but
Yeah. And
You
if
know-
you got a large item, they're not throwing that in the truck either.
Mhm.
So they don't fool around, or they'll just drive right by you. They're known to do that too.
Yeah.
I mean,
or
not pick
unless
up
you
anything.
pay for a special pickup.
Yeah. So,
which is an
all
option.
valid points. I mean, right, we'll nail this down, Rick, to figure out what we want to do. We'll talk to ordinance and take a look at the trash ordinance.
Yeah,
And if we got to adjust that. Anything else, Rick?
No.
Yeah, that's a bunch. All right. Ryan, ordinance.
So first off on the trash, so our ordinance currently says any customer continuously exceeding their current rate charge will be reassessed at the discretion of the refuse department. So I take that as we have flexibility on these one-offs.
Yeah.
Of how to address it.
Right.
Now, if we want to add more than the 6 and have it be a different cost, then we need a new one.
Yeah, policing it, policing it that way where we don't want our public works guys to do policing that.
Exactly.
It's that's a lot of their time to take pictures. And I think if you just amend the ordinance to go from 6 to 8, we just add another rate for 8 bags, but not that we want everybody putting 8 bags out. I mean, that's another 20% increase.
But you do want to monetize
But
the
the
value
majority-
of that additional
Majority don't
service.
put out anywhere near 6 though even.
No.
There's only 5 or 6 people that routinely use the process.
We pay for 2 trash pickups, but we don't even use that much between the 2 houses. But we still, every time, so to go up any would be like crazy, because we have 3 out in one time a
Thank you,
week.
madam.
I know,
Thank
but,
you
and
very
then the
much.
other house, we do, I mean, we
Thank you,
just
madam.
don't
We're very happy to pay
generate.
our trash.
But we have
You're welcome, madam.
We're glad you guys are happy to pay your trash bill.
Yeah, thank you very
Not
much.
really, but okay.
What
Pay
you
for
meant to say
nothing.
was I'm very
So
excited.
someone can put their trash on our
Back.
property, we're already paid for it.
Put that in, Madam Recorder, make sure you put that in the minutes. that
And
the-
Claire said she wants to pay for more trash pickup. Did you hear that, Lisa? The first lady said she's glad to pay for more trash.
Oh, yeah.
Claire Sheen said.
Yeah, thank you.
No, I just have to bring my back to her house.
Back to ordinance. Brian,
I'll count.
thank you. Go ahead with your second.
Okay, so proceeding with ordinance will be the second reading of the ordinance changing town elections. The first reading was June 16th, 3 weeks ago. Again, this is to conform our elections with the new state law from last year about switching them to line up with the state election dates and years.
Okay.
So, slight change to the numbering. This will be ordinance 2026-07-01. Better catalog it. Okay, this will be an ordinance to amend and reenact section 6 of the charter of the town of Bath. The first preamble is about the 2025 law change requiring these changes. The second preamble is about the 2026 law change that allows municipalities to more easily change the charter. And the third preamble states this is a conformity ordinance pursuant to those law changes. So there's 4 sections. The first one is charter amendment. This will amend the charter by adding ordinance C, which in turn amends section 6, which pertains to town elections. Section 2 is the one-time transitional term. So for mayor, recorder, and the council members, there will be a one-time shortened term of 11 months following the 2027 election, ending May 31st, 2028, and that is to then get us on track with the dates we need for the future elections. Section 3 will be resumption of the 2-year terms, so starting in 2028, we'll return to a 2-year term for mayor, recorder, and council members, starting on June 1st of each election outcome. And section 4 will establish a new election day, which beginning in 2028 will be the statewide primary election date, which is currently the second Tuesday in May in even years. So that constitutes the second reading. Are there any questions or thoughts?
We need a motion to approve it, which I'm happy to make. A motion to approve ordinance 2026-07-01.
Second.
I have a motion to approve ordinance 2026-07-01, town elections, and ordinance to amend and reenact section 6 of the charter of the town of Bath. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Good work, Ryan. Thank you. Sign this.
And given passing this charter amendment, and I'll be out of town July date, the next meeting will actually be August 20th.
All right, ordinance.
Okay, so no,
No July meeting.
Okay, 8:20 at 3:30, Ryan?
Yes.
All right, it's August
and I
20th.
won't be in there. I'll be gone. I'll be gone.
All right,
20th.
you guys take a lot of time off.
He's July, I'm August. No, we purposely staggered these just for you.
Great.
Didn't we,
So
Ron?
that means I'm available both times. That's
Gotta have
awesome.
one.
Yeah, we did this around your
Yeah,
vacation.
thanks for reaching out and letting me know.
No problem.
All right, Mary, Waterworks, please.
Okay, our next meeting is tomorrow at 4:00. And we will be, in attendance will be our team from GD&F Engineering. They have already worked with our water and superintendent to bundle the initial $750,000 from IJDC, the combination loan and grant, for emergency repairs at the water utility. And what we will discuss tomorrow is what work will be bundled under the Army Corps of Engineer $1 million grant. And again, in order of priority and just moving the water utility forward towards restoring perfect health to all operating systems. And so I did want to just recap for everyone's appreciation where we are now. So the total cost from the professional engineering report was $8 million for all the work we needed to be have done. And this is now exactly 1 year later. We have 1/3 of the funding, which is enough to keep us moving towards the final remediation of issues at the plant. And I'm very mindful of making sure that we continue the flow of grant dollars. I've mentioned before about the grant dollars mean we're not raising fees, but also to have 1/3 of the money in hand or on the way a year later is really good for us in terms of just staying on top of really urgent repairs and things that are necessary at the water plant. So just breakdown. We have right now $2.7 million, which is a little more than 1/3. And it is the $750,000 IJDC, $1 million from Senator Capito that ended up being punted over to Army Corps of Engineers. They'll manage that $1 million. That's the second $1 million. And the third $1 million is the money that will be coming from Riley Moore's office. We got congressionally directed spending from him, but we won't see that for over another year. But in the meantime, we have funds available to us and we are getting the work started. So I'm very excited about that. And another thing that our engineering team is doing, they have all the source documents they requested of me. They're working on evaluation assessment of the water plant, which we need for a lot of reasons. So that's happening. At the moment, I think that's it for water. Anything? I think that's it.
That's a bunch. That's a lot of projects that are stacking up down there at water and the demands for water and all the other challenges that water presents. So good work for everybody on the water committee. Thank you. At this point in time, if there's anyone that would like to address council, anyone? Young, my nephew? No?
Any
Okay.
questions?
Any questions for Public Works? Or
Or the mayor with his new badge.
Yeah, with my new badge. Yes, behave yourself while you're in town, young man.
Now
All right.
that you have a badge.
Yeah, not on my badge. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So many.
Yes, we have to get to a birthday party.
May I take your picture for the Morgan Messenger?